So, in Nepal, something huge is happening. A youth-led revolution has just shaken the entire political establishment to its core. But, after the dust from the protest settles, there's this massive question hanging in the air. What now? They're at a crossroads, a real fork in the road, with two totally different paths to build the country they've been fighting for.
And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. This quote, it just nails the urgency of the moment. We're not just talking about swapping out a few politicians. No, this is about completely rewriting the country's future. Because if they don't, another whole generation could be lost to the same old story of corruption and chaos.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at this revolution at its crossroads. Then we'll dive into Path 1, the revolutionary road. And after that, Path 2, the electoral road. We'll compare the strategies and then see how it's really one destination, but two very different journeys. So let's set the scene. Phase 1, a huge success. Nepal's Gen Z, totally fed up with the corruption, they went out and made their voices heard, loud and clear. But, passion and protests, they can only take you so far. Now comes the really tough part, turning all that energy into a real solid plan. Like, how do you actually build this new Nepal that everyone's fighting for? All right, so let's look at the first option on the table. It's called the revolutionary road. Now, when you hear revolutionary, you might be thinking of something chaotic, right? But that's not what this is about at all. It's actually framed as a super disciplined, peaceful, and really fast way to restructure the whole country. Think of it as a total system reboot, but a peaceful one, starting from the ground up. So how on earth would they pull that off? Well, the core idea is this thing called the 11-11-11-11 model. I know, it sounds like a weird code, but the concept is actually pretty straightforward. It's all about creating a legitimate leadership structure from the bottom up, one that completely sidesteps the old, messy world of party politics. It's basically a blueprint for building a massive, transparent organization fast. Okay, so check this out. It starts super local. 11 people in a neighborhood get together and they have to unanimously pick one leader. Got it? Then 11 of those new leaders meet up and they elect the next leader up the ladder. You just keep repeating that process 5 times. And the amazing thing is, in theory, you could build a single, unified national organization. We're talking from a tiny village all the way to Nepalese living abroad in just a matter of weeks. Crazy, right?
So, what's the ultimate goal? What's the end game? Well, once this whole structure is in place, the plan is to organize a single, one-day nationwide event. And they're not even calling it a protest. They're calling it a request movement. It's a massive, unified, symbolic appeal for the current government to just peacefully step aside. They want to set up an interim government led by the head of the Kalkiism Research Center, which is this social reform group. And that temporary government would have one job: get a new constitution written and hold elections within a year. A full reset.
Okay, so that's path number 1. Now let's pivot and look at the second option, the electoral road. This one is totally different. It's about working within the current system of elections. But, and this is a huge but, it comes with some super strict non-negotiable conditions. It's basically saying, okay, we'll play the game, but we're changing the rules first. And the absolute core principle here is simple, but man is it powerful. Justice before ballots. The whole point of the revolution wasn't just to get new faces in power. It was to end this culture of impunity, where powerful people get away with anything. Without real accountability first, any election would just be window dressing, a total sham. And they are not messing around with vague demands. These are super specific. We're talking about prosecuting top-level officials. Yeah, even a former prime minister. It means waking up the anti-corruption agencies and letting them loose on powerful people from all the major parties. And it means the Home Minister has to actually deliver arrests and real reforms before anyone even thinks about going to the polls. Okay, so let's imagine for a second that all those demands for justice are met. Then what? Well, the argument is you still can't trust the old political parties. They're seen as part of the problem, right? So what you need is a brand new political vehicle. A true Gen Z party, built from the ground up, straight out of the revolution. And the vision for this new party is, well, it's really modern. It would be led by someone credible and popular, like the mayor of Kathmandu, Balen Shah. It'd be completely digital first. We're talking using blockchain for funding, so everything is transparent. It would be a pure meritocracy. You earn your spot, you don't inherit it. And it would team up with that same Kalkiism Research Center for its policy ideas. So what's the big prize for this path? It's ambitious for sure, but it's crystal clear. Win a 2/3 supermajority in parliament. Nothing less. Because only with that kind of landslide victory could this new party actually have the power to change the constitution and lock in the goals of the revolution for good. All right, so we've walked down both roads. Now let's put them side by side. It'll make the key differences in their strategy and what they want to do right now really pop.
This chart makes it super clear. For the revolutionary path, the main jewel is that 1111 model. For the electoral path, it's a new digital party. The very first step, the revolutionaries need to organize, while the electoral path needs justice first. Leadership, you've got the Kalkiism Research Center on one side and new leaders like Balen Shah on the other. And maybe the biggest difference of all is the timeline. We're talking a super fast transition in a matter of weeks versus a much longer haul that depends entirely on when the next election happens. But here's the thing, and it's really important. Even though these strategies seem worlds apart, you have to understand that they both come from the same place. They're built on the same moral foundation, and they're both trying to get to the exact same finish line. And this quote right here gets to the heart of it. It doesn't matter if the path is revolutionary or electoral. The guiding light has to be Dharma over power. Dharma here basically means doing the right thing, sticking to your duty and moral principles. The idea is that the movement's true power isn't just how many people show up, it's this absolute moral clarity. It's a commitment to principles that are just not up for debate. And that's the shared destination. That's what they're both fighting for. A new Nepal, completely transformed. A country that's finally free from all the corruption and chaos, and instead is built on a solid foundation of transparency, merit, and unity. So, in the end, Nepal is standing right on the edge of a new beginning, a genuine rebirth. The energy for change is it's undeniable. The only question left is, which path will this generation, a generation with more power than ever before, actually choose to walk?